Yep. Always.
We live. And we're streaming on Facebook. I think I'm bad tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling myself a little bit.
Yeah.
So, did you get the questions I sent? Because mine over there on the phone, you're gonna have to pull them up.
You see, let me make sure it's the right one. Was it on WhatsApp?
Yes.
Okay. WhatsApp is like my lead check situation. But let me see. We're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
Don't get it.
Let's go. I'm trying to pull it up over here so I can see it.
Okay. There you go. I'm gonna wipe my screen.
Okay, you got about 10 because you know T-Mobile be tripping sometimes.
All right.
All right, because I know we had I'm trying to pull it up. There we go. Or the technician, and they started talking and started vibing like, hey, let me take you out on a date. Let me get to know you, right? I was trying to encourage a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and I was sharing some of, my love stories from the past. Like, how did I meet different people? Because I'm not really the one that's going to be out there in people's faces. Like, pay attention to me. I'm a Sagittarius, but I'm also a big introvert, right? And so one of the stories that I shared with her was like, it's been years and years and years and years ago. I was literally walking the dog down the street, kind of, zoned out, not paying attention. And I hear somebody saying something from the side, still didn't pay attention. And all of a sudden I look up and there's this guy kind of rushing across the street, because to my right, coming out of somebody's driveway, was a pit bull. And I had my pit bull on his leash, and there was another pit bull coming up out the yard. And he was kind of rushing us. He had got out loose from the backyard. So the guy kind of stood in front of me, and when the dog got close, he grabbed his collar and took them back. That's how we actually met. He literally was like my knight in shining armor, right? My little superhero. But that's how we met. We ended up becoming friends and dating off and on for about 4 years, right? And for all intents and purposes, a great guy. We just weren't great for each other after a while. Like, we had served our purpose, but it was pretty good. That was one example, and I shared with you. Sometimes it might be the technician knocking on your door. So I agree with Benny. Stand in your power, know who you are, stand for what you want, and trust the process. But also, if you spiritual, whether you're in church or not, Christian or not, if you spiritual, listen, the spiritual laws operate, whether it's for dating, money, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Use your little magic, baby. Use your little magic.
I think you can't be so picky either, though, because you got some women and men.
Yeah.
They'll say stuff like, you got to be tall. You got to have good hair. You got to have a fresh goatee. You got to dress this way. You got to be in this. You got to be in that. But a lot of times, the person that might be for you may be totally opposite than what you know what I'm saying, or what you vision in your head.
That's
Sometimes you got to meet a person to give them a shot. You might have caught them while they was at work.
Yeah.
You might have caught them while they was on a bad day. But it might have been a good day for you because you might have actually met your knight in shining armor, or you might have met your real life queen. So sometimes you can't just go with all these stipulations of what you want. So half the time y'all be dusting and shit. Hey,
that's all true.
And got ponytail with the hair hanging out in the back like that. So sometimes you got to be a little bit more open to the conversation, because the conversation will trump all of that. The personality will too. So sometimes you just got to be a little open to more than what meets the eye, because it's definitely going to be mental once y'all start communicating.
I think, and this is just my opinion, I'm not speaking for all women. I'm not saying I'm right. We got a commercial.
Oh yeah, it was a commercial. Commercial break.
Commercial break.
All right, I was trying to get on.
I think a lot of times we as women will do just that. And don't get me wrong, because men do it too, right? But we will look at a person and say, they're not tall enough. He's not 6'3". I ain't doing it. Or he's not making this amount of money, or he's not driving this car, or he's not as polished. Now, don't get me wrong, because I ain't saying, to settle for no troglodyte or no caveman. What I am saying is, like Benny said, sometimes the package may not look the way that you were expecting it to be delivered, but underneath the exterior, that person may be everything that you were in fact praying for. And it's the same thing for men. Men will miss out on a great woman because she don't have a six-pack, she's not in the gym, a perfect size 12, maybe she don't have perky boobs, maybe she's a little bit older and she's their age instead of being, the young trophy Barbie girl. And so we all have to step outside of our comfort zones and
don't be hollering on now. Don't be hollering on.
We are
on your page on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. We all have to step outside of our comfort zone at some point.
Now look, she be right by 69% of the time. I give her that now. She fine. She by the D though. So a lot of times, women, they set the standards on stuff that they wouldn't want to be judged off of either.
That's true.
I ain't never heard a man say she got to be 4'11". She got to be 5'2". She got to. Well, those are they may not be all the way guys, but a lot of times most men would accept women fat, skinny, short, tall, midgets, humpbacks, good hair, bad hair, bald head, long hair, weaves, lashes. Men accept that as long as you got a good personality.
Now let me answer that. Because I came across it's some influencer lady on Instagram. I don't know if it was her podcast or somebody else's podcast, but she was basically saying that men will go for plus size women, big girls, because they think they won't have to work as hard. They think they won't expect as much. They won't have to do as much. And their standards are lower. Now, I disagree with that. And it was kind of mixed in the comments.
I totally disagree with that.
See, that's why I want to bring it up, because I disagree. But the comments were mixed, because she was going in like, you need to feel better about yourself. You ladies need to do better. And a lot of the guys were agreeing with her, but a lot of them were saying, but I like them thick and juicy.
Well, I'm going to tell you straight up. Now, this is very, very least likely said, but I'm going to say it. What my fellas at, fellas? All right, I'm telling you straight up.
Okay.
A lot of time, I don't think it's that they go for just say, I want a big, I want it is, because you got low self-esteem. Because I met a lot of what they call big women with high self-esteem, so-called pretty women with low self-esteem, because it's all in your preference. And it's all in what attracts you at that time, too. Some of those women that you're referring to have better personalities. They're easier to talk to. They're easier to work with. And then you got some of these so-called fine women, a lot of them be stripped out. A lot of them be scripted out.
Wait a minute.
For real, straight up, a lot of them be scripted out. Fellas in my lab, a lot of them be scripted out. And scripted out, you already know what that means. A lot of them.
Oh, Jesus.
A lot of them little meat look like chili meat. Look like deli meat. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that it's not because they feel like they got low self-esteem or nothing like that. Because you got to remember, skinny women now are big. Big women were once skinny. So what I'm saying is one and the same to me. So what I'm saying is most guys they go at was easier to deal with personality. I don't think it's about the self-esteem.
I got you.
I think it's, hey man, look, I can talk to her. She understands, she know who she is, she works, she take care of business, she cleans, she handle business, she can cook, and she don't have a personality that's what they want, or because you think you look a certain way. Because looks, that's to the eye of the beholder.
And looks fade.
Yep, looks fade. Because you can be around here with a fat ass and face look like skeleton. All right, okay now. So what I'm saying is, a lot of times, it's not about, you know what I'm saying, that. And for whoever said that, I know sometimes it be a topic, but I think they be really secondhand and hating too. They be secondhand and hating, you know what I'm saying? I know they do. So a lot of times, man, it don't be about that.
I agree.
Because watch this. Would you say the same thing for a lady who's really, really thin and her duke be sagging in tights and her legs look like them? Would you say the same for her? Think about it now, because that's one extreme to the next. Would you say the same for her?
Well, what she said on the flip side was, and she said this is how she thinks. As a woman, if she really didn't want to work that hard, if she wanted to put in, and I'm paraphrasing, but if she wanted to put in minimal effort and maybe figure out what she could get from that guy, she would go for a more nerdy, less polished guy. And I don't agree with that either.
So that's usury.
Right.
That is fine.
I think that people that are predators are going to go for the person skinny, fat, rich, tall, whatever, that they think they can get something out of. But if you're a genuine person, you're connected to yourself, you're operating in integrity, I think that you're going to go for the person that you're genuinely attracted to, or that you have some chemistry with, or some type of connection. You know what I'm saying? Which leads me to, we've been kind of skirting around it the past few episodes. I want to talk about zodiac signs.
Okay.
Because
go ahead. That's right on my head. Go ahead.
So let me be clear. That's not my expertise. I've been aware of it for a long time, and I'm delving into it because I'm understanding me more, right?
Oh, she said you gonna delve in. She
delving into it a little bit.
Yeah, 72 now.
So I'm delving into it a little bit, and you know, most times I think people want to do their natal chart. They want to look at all these things, these particular houses. So what I did was I got these books and I started kind of researching and reading, but I also asked spirit, God, source, whatever you want to believe in. I said, hey, yeah, there's a lot of information. What is it that I need to focus on? So what I was led to look at were what were the most prominent zodiacs across my chart, and Sagittarius, obviously, and then Virgo. And I was like, okay.
Hold on. So when you say the most prominent, break that down to what you're saying. I want to make sure I understand before I come.
So my birth sign is Sagittarius. What is that? Okay. Your sun sign or something?
No, fire.
Yeah, fire. And I think they call it the sun sign, I guess. And then when I looked at, because I went through my whole chart, the natal chart, just kind of looking at how many signs were in how many houses, what were the most prevalent ones. So Virgo was the most prevalent behind Sagittarius.
All right, when you say most prevalent, the one was,
it was repeating the most often over like Cancer and Libra and all that stuff. It was Sagittarius and then Virgo. They was like neck and neck.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, no wonder I'm yeah, because I got all this fire and then I got all this earth. So my earth I need, because I have, if I don't keep myself grounded, what I've learned is my fire will consume. It's a little too much for people. It's a little overwhelming, and it will pull me into such a heavy masculine energy. Not to say that femininity can't be fire, but for me, it will pull me into such a heavily masculine energy that I can come off like a real motherfucker.
But do you think that are you talking about in a relationship or just
period?
Just period.
Like business, relationship, like my everyday interactions and engagement with people. And I saw that real live in color the past 3-4 weeks, but especially the past 7 to 10 days.
But see, I also believe that depends on who you run across too.
Oh, that'd be very true.
Because a lot of times fire signs recognize fire signs almost immediately. Fire signs also recognize water signs. They also recognize air signs. So depending on who you come across is how you're gonna release that energy. Yes. Because you ain't gonna play that shit with no fellow fire sign. And then it's gonna be like, huh? Y'all gonna bump heads or y'all gonna call the truce and go ahead and
be like, all right, much respect, let's go.
Well. Yeah. So I think it depends on who you cross, even in relationships.
That too. Well, now what's interesting is, like I said, it showed up the past 7 to 10 days, real intense. And that's why I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. Because what I recognize for me, I had some pretty specific goals that I came into 2024 with, right? And I said, no holds barred, no prisoners taken. I ain't with no fuck shit. You don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's the attitude I came in with.
All right, no problem.
And I put a demand on spirit, right? And I said, this is what I want. Now, my expectation is you're going to show me exactly what I need to be doing in order to make this as easy as possible, in order to facilitate this with as much joy as possible. Because we need to catch up with some recompense in 2024, right? And I noticed that I said that, and then I stopped paying attention for a minute. But as I looked back, I went way like a hard, you know how you be going a little too fast around the curve sometimes, and you got to do that hard, right? That's what happened energetically. So I sat like way over here in my masculine. And I went back this weekend and I was looking at how I was acting with people. I was like, damn. What? Woo!
Fire sign thought she was fine.
Listen.
That was a roll.
She was on a roll, you hear me? So when I sat with it and did some self-reflection this weekend, spirit was like, yeah, that had to happen. Because see, in my softer, more feminine energy, I'm a little too kind. I'm a little too lenient with actions and behaviors, whether it be romantic, platonic, family, business, clients, whatever it is. I'm a little too easygoing. Like, okay, everybody deserves a second chance. But when that motherfucker comes out, she like, nah, off with their head. And so that kept showing up over and over in conversations. And I was like, hey, and Spirit was like, you got to release everything and everybody. You got to sacrifice everything and everybody to get what you're trying to get right now. So I saw that full Sagittarian energy, right? Because I wasn't really operating in that before. My ground, my earth, my grounding, my Virgo was a little too heavy. So I had to pivot.
I don't know if you got no Virgo in you though. I'm telling you, Virgo is special kind of people.
They crazy.
I'm not gonna call them crazy. I just know from my experience and the zodiac signs and all that good stuff that as a male, because I know it's slightly different for the female.
It is.
Virgo females and male Sagittarius, they can work, but a lot of time they
butt heads.
They butt heads a lot.
I believe that.
But they can work if you're willing to go through all the leaps, the bounds, the ditches, the space, the rockets, the rocks, the fire, the sea, the water, the river, the lake, the Cadillac, the Cutlass, the Bentleys, the drop tops, the bicycles, and on feet. Now, if you're willing to go through all that, it can work, but it can. But I think that it works better. Now, it's just, this is what I know and talking to different people over time. I think, in a little read, I think that with age, it tends to become more workable because you have gotten a little life experiences. And once you get life experiences, you tend to learn how to deal with things better.
Okay.
So I think, but young.
Now, you know what's interesting from the female Sagittarius side? Leos are supposed to be a really good fit in the men, Libras, and I believe Cancers. Because that fire, if I remember correctly, because that fire and that water can balance each other, right?
Depending on how hot that fire is.
Right. That's a big part of it. Boil that water.
You been boiling this shit out the pot.
Right.
You ever left a pot on the stove too long, that boil, what happened? You burn up the pot.
You feel me? And then Libras, I think, if I remember correctly, they struggle with the freedom that Sagittarius need. Leos are supposed to be a good fit because that fire, if you communicate, basically everything you just said, but if you can get your communication on point, you can get to the point where that fire kind of balances and does this intricate little dance and you work well together. But if not, it's going to be this all the time. And I think that's the biggest issue that I run into with my energy is I crave freedom. I'm that wanderlust. I want to be free. I want to be in my space. I want to be left the fuck alone. Let me talk to you when I talk to you. Let me see you when I see you. I love you, boo boo. And that's girlfriends, guy friends, romantic, huh?
So you don't want a man.
There you go with that word.
You don't want a man. That's all it is.
There you go with that word.
Don't matter. Then Miss Todd on here, she said cancers are the best. Well, I tell you what, Miss Virginia, elaborate, please.
Yes, please tell us.
Cancers, they pretty fine. I ain't gonna lie, but I would love to hear a little bit more about the cancer.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, whatever sign you are, you tuned in, put your sign in the comments and we'll talk about it because I know for a fact all of them have different traits. And, you know, I don't know them all, but I know a few of them from past experiences or some that I just took the time to read about. But I don't know about that. Sagittarius is probably the best. Now you fine now. Now you got 1 and 2. You like a 1.5. But we number 1. I ain't gonna lie. We number 1 though.
And I will say, I think the biggest issue that most people have with us is our truth. Right? Because we
Aries.
So I saw this astrologer on Instagram the other day, and he was saying the top 3 signs. Oh, and I wish I could tell y'all his name, but he was saying the top 3 signs that you don't need to tell your secrets because they ain't gonna be able to keep them. And he had Sagittarius in there. I was like, that ain't true. It's not that we can't, because he said we can't lie. And I ain't trying to tell him myself. It's not that we can't lie, it's that it doesn't matter enough to us to lie. That's what I believe. Not that we can't hold a secret. We just don't care enough to hold your shit. Like, if we feel this way, we're going to tell you. If we don't like you, we're going to tell you. If we don't want to be bothered, we're going to tell you. If we feeling you, we going to like whatever it is that we're thinking and feeling or what we expect. That's it. And I think people just are uncomfortable with that level of clear cut. Yeah. Clear cut truth.
Okay. All right. Miss Sandra Calloway Field said Aries. Now, I'm a second that with Aries. I'm gonna come back to it. All right. Sean said Libra.
Okay.
All right. And Eugene said Scorpios and Virgos are bipolar. Now, I've heard that because I done had plenty of conversations in the barbershop. I have heard that about the Scorpios. Say they two sides, and them Virgos two sides. Now Aries, and I'm gonna tell you what's fun about Aries. They are, for the male, they're a great match with a Sagittarius. Like almost, they can fall out of the sky and land just like this.
Okay.
I have read that too. Yeah, you're right, Sam. I get it to you. Let me see. Eugene said Geminis are unfaithful and crazy. Now they both of them. All right. Oh, Sean said he seconded that about the Virgo. Yeah. I told him Virgo. Virgo something else.
See, that's why I feel like I get a little off kilter sometimes. So I had a situation this past week, and as I addressed it, it was a guy. He said, "You trying to chastise me?" I said, "No, I'm holding your grown ass accountable." Like, that's the difference with a Sagittarius, I believe, and most other signs. Now, let me throw this disclaimer out there. We all have all the personality traits within us. It's just figuring out which ones are more dominant in us based on where they lie in our birth chart and all that, right? But that being said, that's what I typically experience, because I had a woman say something to me recently, and when I checked her on it and I gave her that same energy, she got a little in her feelings and wanted to tear up. And I was like, no, that's not what, like, you was bold enough to say that shit. You're gonna be bold enough to take this Kool-Aid and drink it back, right? And I feel like that's where people get us fucked up. Yeah. We're jovial and we're friendly and we're easygoing, and they feel like, but when we give it back, it's like, well, wait a minute.
Well, see, but one thing I can say, me being a Sagittarius person, December the 4th, just in case y'all want to shower a nigga with gifts on the 4th of December, yeah. But one thing I know about the Sagittarius, we are extremely loyal. But when you fuck it up, the only thing that can get it back is you being accountable and clear straight up. Woo. So it ain't that like you said earlier about not being able to hold stuff. We can't hold it when it's some bullshit. But loyalty, as far as you telling me something, and I'll hold it to the death of me, I will. We'll hold that. But you got to be 100. You can't be a 92. You can't be a 94. You got to be 100. Yeah. You might want to do 101 just in case you fuck up a little bit. You still be 100. So Sagittarius, and that's what I can speak for being a male Sagittarius, because most of the real friends I got, we've been friends since like 3rd and 4th grade. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And nothing ever changed unless they fuck it up. Because I ain't going to fuck it up. Because I value friendship. Yeah. And whoever I get hold to, that's who I'm going to hold on to. Yeah.
I agree with that. And I think that a lot of the times we get flack for it. And it's like, going back to something you like to say every episode, most people lie. And I think that because we have this unfiltered truth a lot of times. Like, I had this professor in college. He was my psych professor. And oh my God, he was like the bane of my existence for a while. And I finally asked him, like, why, what is this? And he said, because I see your greatness and I won't let you settle for mediocrity. I'm going to make you uncomfortable enough to bring it out, right? So we would talk, we would have some in-depth conversations, and he would really challenge me. And one day he said, your biggest issue is that you have tact. You just choose not to use it a lot of times. I was like, well, damn. Man. But I think that's how most people often view us and experience us. They think that we're trying to be hurtful or ugly or harmful. And it's really not that. We just don't mince words. And a lot of times people are so used to buffering and filtering and squashing down that when you come across a Sagittarius that's truly staying in their power, that unadulterated truth can feel like a cut. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, I ain't trying to cut you, but my big thing is accountability. If I'm gonna hold myself to this standard, in order to sit in my sphere, you got to meet this standard or rise above it. Like, I can't accept you being here and I'm trying to exist up here, because one of us gonna have to give, and I'm not coming down here.
Yeah, but and then sometimes too, whether people want to believe it or not, some people like being lied to, or they like to put sugar on shit and call it a snicker.
Or lipstick on the pig.
Oh yeah, lipstick on the pig and call it a big pretty. All right, Miss Eugenia said it's all fun. I love all signs. I do too. I just know the level to take it with some. All right, Eugenia also said, come on, man. I just knew you were a counselor. You're so genuine, just like us. I agree. Like I said, counselor's fine. I love all signs. It's just certain levels I go with some by me knowing what I know. All right. Now, Sean said, I love my Sagittarius because they say what my Libra non-confrontational self won't don't want to do. All right. All right. Let me see. Yep. I agree. I mean, like to me, and I agree with what Eugenia said. Though every sign is super fine in their own way, I just know with how I am with certain signs, I know how far to go. You know what I'm saying? Because once you kind of know it, you know the personality traits of certain ones. So I know certain stuff just can't go down a certain way. Yeah. But like, let's just say, like, of course I'm married. I'm married now. But if I was single, it's certain signs I wouldn't date. Now we may talk for 50 years, and I may just say, "All right, motherfucker been around forever." But it's like certain personalities just don't match. Now a lot of people don't believe that, but I promise you, you just go back in time before you got married, before you got in a relationship or whatever, and look at some of the people you dated, and go back and look at their birthday and think about why y'all broke up. You'll see.
I think I've had my most successful relationship with fire signs. Because we naturally, I think, understand, okay, it's a little too intense. Let me calm my ass the fuck down because I don't want to, hype them up, and I don't need them to hype me up. So there's that natural ebb and flow that if you really are invested in it, you'll find that apex, and then you'll get into that dance, right? The fire will dance together, the flames will dance together. Now, Aquarius, that's a sign that you could not pay me to date ever again. Ever. I know I've dated one. Ever again. No. Earth, in general, I have to keep going back to, I've had the most success with fire, and then after that, probably water. Because again, water, it can be dangerous because it can mute the fire and put it out, or the fire can boil the water. But again, if you got two people that are considerate of one another, then I think, because cancers are emotional. That's one thing I've seen and experienced. Cancer, y'all emotional as fuck. And sometimes Sagittarius can come across as just, I've been told I'm too disconnected. Like that's been the biggest complaint I've heard my whole life. You just don't give a damn. And it's not that I don't, it's just that once I flip that light switch, because I feel like either your loyalty has been proven to be non-existent, or you done stood on my neck to benefit yourself, you get nothing. So I'm gonna flip that light switch and turn it off and keep on moving, right? But as long as you're golden to me, I'm gonna always be golden to you. And again, I think people just don't know how to take that level of honesty that we when we're standing in our power.
But see, but that's why I said you gotta kind of meet your match. That's why you see so many failed relationships. And now Eugene said she's been with a Scorpio 38 years. And he is the bestest. He got to be good. He the bestest.
He the best.
Okay.
I've heard Scorpios are cool.
And Sean said, I would never, ever in my life date a Virgo. I mean, but that may be something but that's actually a good thing, though, to be honest with yourself and just be like, nah. Unless it's just plutonic, you just want some of them yams, or you want you a little shot of cat. Now, if that's understood, you can move on from there. But as far as trying to date, you'll find yourself.
Yeah.
Don't keep doing that. Y'all gonna stay fussing and debating about stuff that don't mean nothing. Because I promise you, certain personality traits, because like I said, I'm a Sagittarius. I'm the most lovable person in the world. I'm honest. I ain't gonna fuck you over. I do all I can. I give you my laugh. I give you shit I ain't even got.
Until we don't.
Because I always feel like I can get it back.
Yeah. Until we don't.
But some people, you just can't do that with.
Yeah.
Or if you say certain things a certain way, they'll cry on you and shit. I ain't gonna say what side they are. They'll cry. They'll lie. But
Good. Now you know who's a dope ass sign? Capricorns.
Yeah, but both of my daughters are Capricorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Capricorns. And I think that Sagittarians get along with Capricorns really, really well. Those have been some of the coolest friends that I've had.
We really get along with everybody.
I mean, we do.
We get along,
but you know, there are natural alignments that is like you. Let me use Q and Michael for an example. Oh shit, I forget what Q is. Q's a Virgo? I think. Yeah, Q's a Virgo. Michael's a Capricorn. And if you notice at certain parts of the conversation, and she had me tickled because she brought that up again when we were talking the other day, like y'all is just for real insane together now. But I think we got that natural vibe, right? Capricorns and Sagittarius, I think we understand, even though we express it differently, I think we understand the intensity of one another's personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of the dopest friends I've had. Cancers, when we can find our balance so that the water doesn't mute me, but I don't burn the water. Those are also some of the dopest friends I've had. Now, obviously, other fire signs, that's hands down always. But yeah, Capricorns and Cancers, because Cancers help to balance me out more emotionally and help me to soften up some when I'm around them. And I think a lot of times I breathe that fire into them to bring out that equilibrium that they need to get out of those emotions sometimes. But we have to be willing to give and take. We have to be willing to give and receive what we can from one another, whether it's friendship or relationship too, and business. Like I've really been looking deeper at this to figure out who are the best people that I work with professionally, like client wise, because I noticed I naturally vibe with some of my clients. Like I rock the fuck with you. Mm-hmm. And then other people, I'd be like, I can help them. And I know they're good, but God, I'll be glad when this is over because I love them, but it's just not as much of an enjoyable vibe and flow. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot to be learned in whatever ways we're willing to look at it and use it. How does our astrological chart show up in our life? Whether we're trying to work on money, whether we're trying to work on wealth, health, just overall well-being, where we're trying to use the stars in alignment to plot out things and map out things, or just day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? But we don't. We don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Before we go to the next question, anything you want to throw out there?
No, Sagittarius the best sign out there. But all the rest of y'all dope too. We just at the top.
Y'all dope.
We the Cadillac, you know what I'm saying? We the Cadillac.
Yes. You want to pull the questions back up real quick?
I sure will. I sure will.
What's that? There we go. All right. I'm gonna scroll up. Okay, we'll just work up. Oh shit. Okay. So somebody sent a question for me, Jay. Jay, I gotta ask. I've been following you for years, and I was tripping last week when you didn't know Valentine's Day was the day. I'm thinking the next day because we stream on Tuesday. Okay, yeah. So Valentine's was the next day. I'm thinking is what you said. Girl, you good? No, no harm meant. I just know you be rocking for love in everything you do. Valid question. So so I'm thinking, because I think at the end I was like, okay, wait, is Valentine's Day tomorrow? So I'm guessing that's what you were referring to. So yeah, y'all know, if you've been following me for a while, y'all know I rocks with love. Everything I do is centered around love, whether that be divine love, romantic love, platonic love, family love, whatever. Just living a life of love, because I think love is everything. And if we can find our way to operate in that, it helps to bring us into a flow where we get what we want in this life. We live a life that genuinely feels good, and it's healing, right?
Do you think love is an action or an emotion?
I think it's both.
Both.
I think it's an experience that we operate in within our feelings, the emotion, but I also think love is a verb, it's action, right? So to answer your question, I'm good. The reason that I didn't, the reason that I just couldn't remember that Valentine's Day was the next day, and I knew it, is just not in the forefront of my mind. It's not that I'm not a romantic person or I don't care. There's a couple of things. One, I think it's over commercialized, and I'm that person that I don't care what you do for me on Valentine's Day if you're not doing nothing the rest of the year. Like, it's got to be balanced. If you keeping me up all year, Valentine's is just a bonus, right? But that's not the only day to show love and romance. That's one. Two, not to get all dark and twisted and make this heavy, but another reason that Valentine's Day is a weird day for me is I actually had my first miscarriage years ago on Valentine's Day. Like, woke up that morning and it was just a nightmare. So that, even though I've healed and moved on, that is one of those things. You live, you heal, you just don't necessarily get to forget. It's still there. So that because everybody, you know what I'm saying, is all the talk of, oh my God, who's gonna get pregnant tonight and all that, it could be a little bit heavy. So I tend to disconnect from it. I know it's there, I know it's happening, I celebrate in the ways I feel like it, but it's not priority for me. That's the day that I always just center myself and let whoever's in my life just love on me, and that works. And as far as um promoting it for other people, me, like I said, I think we get so caught up in the commercialization of certain things that we forget, hell, do I even like the person? Like, do I love them? Do I like them? Or am I just focused on, I want them to get me a whole bunch of gifts, or I want to feel special on this one day, but you feel like shit the rest of the year? Like, that's crazy to me. So that's my thoughts on that. But yes, I'm good, and thank you for asking.
Well, if you buy all that stuff, they'd be good about 2-3 days. At least about 2-3 days.
They get some yams and some cash.
Yeah. Put that little cat on.
Darth Vader helmet.
Oh yeah. It'd be out for a few days. Those are then at 29 days.
Buy some Goodwill.
Yeah.
Buy some Goodwill.
It extended.
Yeah.
It's the extended warranty of relationships.
That. And we are still in the month of love. So hop in the comments. Exactly. Gotta know boundaries. What you talking about, Sean? And my sentiments exactly. What are you talking about, Sean? What about the boundaries? Tell us more so we can talk about it. And if you're still with us in the comments on YouTube or Facebook, what do you think about Valentine's Day? Is it something that you go all out and you romanticize it? Is it something that you're like, meh, it's another day? Do you focus on year round? And then that's just a bump. Like, how do you feel about that? So we can talk through that, because this is still the month of love, right? A lot of people had to work on Valentine's Day. A lot of people may be separated out of town for work or family obligations or whatever. So they're still celebrating. It's the whole month of love. How you feeling?
Okay, now since we're speaking on love, now I know a lot of people, they have a problem with this. I know, like myself, I'm not very verbal on saying I love you, I love you, I love you. Because as I said a couple minutes ago, I think love is more so of an action than just some words. Because I can tell you I love you, but not like your ass.
Some bull.
But or however, or I can just show you the love and the things that I do for you. Now I may not say it for whatever reason, but I'm one of those type people. I'm gonna say it when I say it, because I feel like when I say it, I want it to be genuine. I want to say it and mean it from the bottom of my heart, and you're able to receive it that way. Not because somebody said, you don't love me, tell me you love me. You don't never tell me you love me, and you be like, I love you. And then to me, that's not being genuine. But I think that love is an action. And I think that the way you treat a person, the way and the things that you do for a person or people actually shows the love more so than you just saying it. Because people say it, just make your ass shut up sometimes.
I wholeheartedly agree. But I think that's part of understanding what people's needs are, what their expectations are, what their love languages are. Let's throw that word out there, because everybody loves to talk about love languages. And I think the book, because can't remember the guy that wrote it, forgive me, but the book Love Languages. I think the book is a great start, but it's not the end all be all. I think it's a great starting point for you to dive deeper and start asking yourself those questions, right? But do you know all the ways that love shows up for you? So for example, for me, one thing that I had to start expressing is food is one of my love languages. So in a networking group I'm in, that they get a kick out of that. And when they introduce me to people now, they say that, like, hey, you want to get on her good side, food is her love language. Like, know that.
But let me ask you this. Let me slide in there. Let me slide up in there. All right. So when you say the love languages, do you think love languages vary from person to person?
And that's my point. Like,
I know you said food, but you may meet a guy and it may be something else depending on what they bring to the relationship. You think that can change, or is just straight motherfucking food? That's it.
I think there's consistency in things that we need and want and expect, but that also variance is based on the person. So my love languages are different in my girl relationships versus my man.
All right. So with your man, I know you said food, but are there any other love languages that uncought? Be like that, and they can't cook, but he blank. He blank.
Acts of service, gifts, and it's not all about the expense, but it's more for me recognizing that I'm on your consciousness, I'm on your mind. And so when you see things that make you think of me, you want to get them for me. It could be a journal because you saw it in my favorite color. It could be a candle because it smelled good. It could be something you heard me mention and said, I know she want that, let me get it. Acts of service. if my grass needs cut? Do I have to ask you, or are you thinking of ways to try to make my life easier and take things off my plate? Because I'm a Sagittarius. Acts of service are part of my love language and how I love people. I'm a, you know what I'm saying? I'm a giver. So even with my friends, my man, whoever, I'm always thinking, how can I contribute something that brings joy to this person or brings good to this person? Mm-hmm. So for my girlfriends, they know I'm good for being like, what you doing? Nothing. Let's go. We finna go to a movie. Let's get out and go for a ride. Let's go for a day trip. What you doing? All right, I'm finna come over and look at you. I just need to put my eyes on your face to make sure that you're good. You need anything? I'm on my way. Like, just showing them that I'm present, because I know that I can tend to be disconnected, right? So that's one of the love languages that I've cultivated that feels good for me, is to express that love in quality time and acts of service, mm-hmm. and being present with people. But it took me a long time to know that. And a lot of times I had dysfunction in my friendships because I couldn't express to them. I didn't have the words for it for a long time of, I'm going to be present, but when I need a minute, bitch, give me a motherfucking minute. Like, let me breathe. I love you, but I may go dark this week because I need to recalibrate. I need to be still. I need to be silent, whatever. So I think that we have a responsibility, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's your friend, your family, and even your cut buddies. Like, people think, well, we just gonna get together and fuck.
What's cut buddy?
Fuck buddies. I know the language. But you get what I'm saying? Like, people think, well, we just gonna get together and make it pop. And you might, but guess what? At some point, you're gonna have to express to that person how you feel, what you need. Do you want no contact, no communication other than a text message, date, time, and place? Do you want a little interaction in between? Like, do you want to have a meal before or after? Like, being able to explain to each other what we need is vital to success in anything, right? Whether it's your cut buddy, your romantic person, your employees, your employers, your co-workers, whoever, your friends, your besties, your bros, whoever. And I think a lot of relationships get torpedoed because we don't have the basic language and understanding of what we need and how to express that to people. And we get mad because they don't know. Well, you should know how I feel. But you a whole person. How is it that I should know how you feel if you yourself don't know and can't express it to me?
But do you think they be saying that because of let me see, how can I put this? Do you think they say that because of the expectation though? Because and the reason why I say that is because I kind of feel as if the most you get out of a person is only at the level of interest that they have in you. Okay. So I don't give a damn if he rich and he won't buy you nothing. It may be because he don't like your ass. Or the same thing with a woman.
I agree with that.
You know, because I feel like this, and I think we discussed this once before. Back in my early years, long time ago, when I was in the dating stage, you know, my thing was that I don't believe in telling a person what I want. Because if you like me enough, you're gonna kind of explore that. But vice versa though, you know, because if I'm really, you know, at the time in my younger years, if I was really interested in a woman, it was certain things I would just try, maybe like, let me bring her one of these Sprite. Now she be like, ooh, I don't like Sprite. Okay, I'm gonna bring her Dr. Pepper. Yeah. I'm gonna bring her lemonade. I'm gonna find out. But to me, I think that's the most exciting thing about a relationship is saying that I'm so into this person that I'm gonna figure out what they like. And even if they don't like it, they like, damn, you know what? This motherfucker Robert was thinking about me, man. Oh, damn, Kim was thinking about it. You know, you would, I think that's very appreciative because they're actually putting the effort in to see.
I agree.
And that's with all aspects of it.
Now, I think there's balance with that. I don't think that we can. I don't think we can draw a roadmap where the X marks the spot and be like, take this left, go 3.5 miles, see this tree with this hole in it, grab the pear, travel up this road, do this, go down this. I don't think we can do that because then it makes it difficult to distinguish. Do this person really even want me, or are they just following directions because I made it easy for them to get what they want, right? Whether that's some yam, some cat, some Darth Vader helmet, whatever, right? So there's a balance in communicating some basics because at the same time, if I'm driving myself insane trying to figure it all out, and I'm on a treasure hunt, my attention span ain't gonna run that long. Eventually, I'm gonna be like, I'm out. Listen, this.
I still just believe because what it say, I'm gonna stand on business. I just think it depends on how interested you are in a person.
I just might not ever been that interested.
On the level of how far you will go. Because if you're really into a person, your goal is to satisfy them and vice versa. True. Now, it got to be mutual.
True.
And if you're really into them, now if you're into them and they're not into you, you'll go to a certain point and be like, man, shit. I keep doing this bullshit. But if you see that as reciprocating,
yeah,
I think you would.
I think it also depends on what are all the other things vying for your attention. What are all the other things that you are accountable for, all the roles that you have to operate in, right? So if you have somebody that, and this is not a knock on anybody, this is just a random example, but if you have somebody that maybe they don't have any kids, maybe they just have one job, and they have a regular consistent schedule, their life is fairly simple, they might have a deeper or longer attention span for somebody that they like or have feelings for, to put in the work and the ethic and the effort over time to get what they want, no matter how long it takes. You take somebody like me, or even you, that we both have multiple businesses. We have a lot that demands our time and our effort and our attention and our energy. Ain't it? I don't have the desire to give that type of attention. And I look at the relationships that have lasted versus the ones that didn't. If I got to sit here and piecemeal it together and figure it out because you either don't have the emotional intelligence or the vocabulary or the understanding of yourself to be able to share the basics with me so that we can start with at least a foundation of equality with each other, then my attention span's gonna run out. I'm gonna be like, okay, bye. And I remember this guy came back to me now he was fine. He met on paper all the qualifications. He was like, and when I say qualifications, I say that loosely because I'm never one to just have a list and they got to meet 100 things on that list. I have a starting place and then I figure out how I feel with you, right? And so, because I'm a sapiosexual, for me, it's more, how do I feel? How do I engage with your energy versus the list of looks and all that. That being said, he met almost everything on the list. Great job, tall. He was like 6'4", 5", something like that. Big guy, emotional intelligence, easy to communicate, great, like everything was on point. But he couldn't communicate to me what he needed. And I got tired of trying to figure it out. And so when I started falling back, like,
you ain't like him like that.
Maybe not. And so he came back to me. We eventually just mellowed out and became friends and went on about our business, dated other people. And about a year or two later, he came back to me and was like, Jay, I really want to know what happened. Like, why did we kind of fizzle out? Because I was really feeling you. I was really into you. Like, what happened? I was like, bruh, that's not I can't. Like, I had too many things because at that time I was in school, had my business, had my job. I don't have the emotional capacity. I don't have the emotional energy to give to this rat race to figure it out. You either gonna help me and give me some ground to stand on, or on to the next. And maybe it was I think that I really did like him though. But I did. I mean, he checked the boxes.
You not like him like that. That's why you were talking that shit.
Could be.
Because one thing I do know, like I said, I got a wife and I have 2 daughters, so I'm in a house full of women. But I still run that shit.
Yeah.
Because I do understand that as busy as I am, I do still have time because you gotta remember, you still make your own schedule.
Very true.
So that means if I take the time to make kind gestures, it's because I thought of them enough to make the time to do that. Like, I know certain things my wife likes. So it's like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just pull up on it with this.
Yeah.
Let me pull up on it with that. Or something, and a lot of times it'd be unexpected, but that'd be the language that I choose to speak to her in, because I like her. You know what I'm saying? And so you just didn't like him. He ain't like Earl ass. That's all. It's okay to say he ain't like Earl. You might have liked the appearance of Earl, but when you got to talking to Earl, you was just like, I mean, he cool, so I'm gonna see what happens, opposed to making it happen. Because you can see what happened and you'll never win. but you can make it happen, and you have a very big possibility of going to the level you need to go. So it just means y'all just might have not been compatible. He might have been a great guy, but for someone else.
I agree.
So that's all it is. You just like Earl. They going on the midget. Okay, repeat after me. I didn't like Earl. It's okay. It's okay. You my partner, cuz. You didn't like Earl. That's all it was. That's all it was.
You know what? I don't know. That could be, y'all. That could be.
I know you.
That could be.
Look,
you're a genius man.
Yeah.
And when I think about it on the flip side, I remember what really clued me into and even before I understood love languages, like even before I read the book years ago, what I looked at was what are the similarities in what I have experienced in relationships or dating or friendships that make sense to me, that feel good to me, and I want more of that. So I was dating this guy years ago, and he knew my history with Valentine's Day. He knew where the spare key was in case of emergencies. So I was out with clients, and when I got home, I walked in the door. He had snuck to the house and not said anything. And when I walked in, there was this big elaborate gift setup. Like he had teddy bears and chocolates and you know what I'm saying? And flowers and all this stuff. And then another guy, I had this bear for years. Another guy that I dated, he bought me this life-size teddy bear. And I had it for years. I bought clothes and put on it, and that was my little baby, right? So I paid attention to what things people did that really spoke to my heart and my soul. I'm a food person because I like food. I think that's instilled in me from growing up. You know, most of us in Black families, especially if we grew up in the church, we're used to sitting around for family dinner after service.
Blacks or drums?
Drums.
Okay. I thought you were about to say flat.
Oh my God. I don't even understand. Like, they don't even serve a purpose for me. But yeah, like all those things, I paid attention. I love food also because I like to nurture people. I like to nourish people. But I learned all of that through consistency of what makes sense to me, what speaks to me, what makes me feel good. What am I doing for other people that I like? And I can be consistent when it feels good. But I notice over and over in conversations, most people don't get that deep with themselves. It's very surface. Well, I like to fuck. What position you like? What's your favorite restaurant? And there's nothing wrong with that. All that's good, but that can't sustain a relationship. And I think Michael has said it a few times, like you can't really look at the person. You got to look at I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember his exact words, but basically you got to look at the experience that you want with the person and invest in that. And you can't invest in the experience with the person if the person can't communicate to you what they need so that you can build that experience. And a lot of us just don't have that language. We weren't taught that. We didn't grow up around that. We think it's stupid. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have it.
That's interesting now. But I still say the fact remains. If you do not like them and they do not like you all, y'all gonna do things almost trying to make it fit.
I agree with that too.
Just actually like water running down the hill, you trying to push the water up the hill. So a lot of it's gonna slide back down. There's a lot of shit gonna be missed. But like I said, if you really like a person,
I do agree. You have to like them at the end of the day.
It makes a huge difference. That's why I think like some of the people who are in relationships now, they're in it for what they say the wrong reason. Okay, she got a nice job, she can hold it down. But she don't really like to have sex with you because she don't want to have sex with you. She don't like you. Or vice versa. He got a nice job, you're attracted to him, but he won't do nothing that you want because he's not into you. Everything he does is what he wants to do opposed to what y'all like to do, or sometimes considering what they like to do. And that goes vice versa.
I agree with that.
So I think liking a person is a motherfucker. Because you can't love them unless you like them. You can love them but not like them.
It's the glue.
But if you don't like them, though,
woo.
Like I said, that to me, that's what make a relationship exciting. Is like, you know what, I love him, but I really like this motherfucker too. You willing to go that extra mile.
I agree with that. I think that's actually a perfect segue to close us out. And forgive me because I was looking at that list and I forgot to copy it over there.
Let's go back to it.
It's not in there. I was looking at it before and I forgot to copy it in there. But
hold on.
You want to answer one more?
We got one more. We close out on this, right? Hold on. Okay. All right. Hey, y'all. I've been married 18 years. Been watching y'all with my old lady. I fuck with some of what y'all be talking about. We both got a question. What do y'all think about threesomes? I want one, but mine said hell no. So it didn't say whether the male or female asked the question. But they said basically to sum it up and paraphrase, they fuck with us because we give out some real dope conversations and topics. But they want to do a threesome. They've been married 18 years, and one of them said hell no. What do we think about that? I'm asking you. That one on you, that cool.
So I was gonna gloss over because
no, don't gloss over. They had the decency to
they
ask.
did.
You told them to ask questions, and they asked. So you got to answer.
I was gonna let you and Michael and Q take that one, but I we after dark and everything goes, so I'll jump on in there. I feel like threesomes are a bag of trouble if you're not in. That's just my personal opinion. If you're not into a more free lifestyle with your partner, polyamory, polyandry, whatever. I think I'm getting those terms right. Because I've just dealing with clients. I've seen too many examples where one person really wanted it and the other person was like, no, or okay, or I can try it because you like it and I love you. And most times, if there are not enough boundaries, if there's not strong communication and dedication, the third party coming in ends up bringing a lot of controversy and chaos. Because one person in the couple might end up liking that third person a little bit more than they intended. The sex might be fine, and now you're looking at your person like, damn, why you don't do that? You know what I'm saying? And it can also raise a lot of insecurities in your relationship. And so I'm a big advocate of, if that ain't the lifestyle that you just trying to live on principle, like you said, stand on business. If that ain't the lifestyle that you really trying to get out there and live, I think you're asking for trouble. Now, that's also coming from the perspective of I've never had one. So I can't speak from that because I've never experienced it. I can only say from the outside that I think it's asking for trouble if that's not what you're trying to do. Put some costumes on, put a wig on, you know what I'm saying? Have a little fun, go to a hotel and role play, rent out a space and role, like figure out ways to make it adventurous, have sex in different locations, whatever. Find your adventure somewhere else if you're not really trying to live that lifestyle. That's my 2 cents. What y'all say in the comments?
All right, we'll start off here. Sean say, okay, well, you did say about the love language is individualized and definitely based on the relationship. Miss Sandra Calloway said, expression of love, self-care, self-love. Casey Walker said, the Darth Vader Hellman, LOL. All right. Sandra Calloway once again said, how deep is the foundation?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's referring to the threesome. All right. Casey Walker said, if y'all not both into it, it's gonna blow up in your face.
See?
A lot of times it blows up even with people that claim they are about that life. All right. Now I give my honest comment on that. If me personally, if I would have met my wife and we was into that before we ever got and kicked it and had children, we'll probably be still into that now. But I ain't married a weak ass to be around here telling me you want some more dick and bring this nigga in no bedroom. And I'm sure she ain't married my weak ass to bring no more bitches in the bedroom either. Because to me, I kind of feel like if and I say me personally, even though this ain't going on, but I'm gonna use this as an example because this is the best way I can put it right now. If the woman who I married, if I come to her and say, hey, what's up? Shit, I got this little chick. You know what I'm saying? I want to do a threesome. I'm really trying her to see how far she'll go. If she go ahead and do that, I ain't gonna like her like that no more. Because one, she's not gonna be the woman who I married. She ain't gonna be the person who I thought she was. Now, for some that may work, but I'm like Casey, I believe that shit'll blow up in your face. I just don't think that most people can stand to see the mate that they chose, because you chose them because it was certain qualities you saw in them at first. Yep. You married her because you didn't think she was a freak. You married him because you thought he would be 100, at least in your face. You know what I'm saying? So if you willing to say, look, I like this nigga Rob. When Robert to come in here too. Okay, first of all, it's not a threesome, that's a train. You know what I'm saying? On that end. And I'm probably not gonna be with it. And if I choose to go along with it, which I probably would, I'm not gonna like you like that no more. They're just real. But that's my take on it. But for some, they say it's a little different for them. But I just feel like if you willing to do that, cheat and keep that shit to yourself. They're just real. Now, it sound harsh, but that's real. Or the woman, or the guy, keep that shit to yourself, because once you bring somebody else in that relationship, the energy changes. And now, like you said, what you gonna always want a threesome? Because at some point, she gonna go by herself. At some point, he gonna go by himself. You be like, let me see if I can tackle that thing on my own. You know what I'm saying? And that's just real. But that's my take on it. So for me, nah.
I'm with you when you're right. And, you know, like I said, I'm speaking from the outside looking in, but I just feel like it's a recipe for disaster. I've seen too many couples end up in therapy afterwards, too many couples breaking up or divorcing, because now you're looking for what that spice brought in at one time. Are you going to repeat it? Is it a one-time thing? Or are you going to do it every birthday, every anniversary, every 6 months? Are you going to become a throuple? Like, there's so much to navigate that if you ain't both on the same page and just need to live the lifestyle together, like Q said, ain't no trying polyamory. You either is or you ain't. And
honestly, you know, I know some people who say they into that, but just like Casey said, even the people who claim they about that life, it's a certain level of jealousy in all humans that certain stuff they just ain't with. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not calling anybody out in particular, but even though when it's going down, there's something about them like, hold up, man. Now, you know, because it's just something about the sight of that. But I don't knock the lifestyle. I don't knock what people do. But for me, that's a hard no. If you want to do that, just go ahead. We cool. I'm gonna shake your hand and be like, I'm gonna pound you up. Might even give you 2 pounds until you gotta go on about your business.
I get that.
Cause I didn't marry you for that. I didn't go with you for that or however.
I get that. Also, I think that a lot of guys have that fantasy. From what I've heard from male clients, they have that fantasy because they think it's going to be so amazing. And when it's turned around and flipped on them, sometimes I've asked the question, sometimes their woman has asked the question. Okay, so if you agree to this and she agrees to this, are you gonna let her bring another man on the scene too? No, I ain't gay. Oh, but you think she want to munch on a woman's ass? Like, what's the difference?
Well, but let me ask you this though. Now, like I said, that ain't never been the experience of mine. I done heard, you know, out of my 30 years of cutting hair, you know, some situations like that. But I think the fantasy for a guy, and this is my assumption, is just to have 2 women in there. I don't think they necessarily have to be participating on each other, but it's just all 3 participants.
Okay, so if she says, I'll do it if you let me bring another man, you ain't got to deal with him, but I still want another man.
And she, you know what I'm saying? But I think that is not how can I put it? I don't think is gender equity in that. I think
how?
Now, I'm not saying I agree with either one, but I'm saying it's gender equity, because if you're willing to ask your girl to do that, she have to be willing to ask you the same thing. That's why I say I wouldn't be with it, period, because you ask me something like that. You might want to have you some 8-ounce boxing glove with you right there on the scene too. I'm just gonna be real.
That's all I'm saying. I think I misunderstood where you was going with the gender equity at first, but I'm with you now. And that's all I'm saying. Like right is right, balance is balance. You know, if you like it, you gotta love it if they bring it back to you, right? So with that,
right on, Case. I ain't with that shit.
You said what?
I ain't really want nobody pound all that. Hell no, man. You know that shit so mad as a motherfucker. No, nope. Oh my God. Nor do you want to see you from behind and she right up performing them scoliosis. You know, no man wants to see that.
Oh my God.
Only exception, if the dude might be a little suspect. Now, if he's a little suspect, he might can stand to see another dude in there. But a real dude, nah. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So I'm gonna bring it to a close with this other question. I forgot to put it in there when I was looking at the list, and we answered this before, but we'll circle back to it real quick to close us out because I think it's relevant to what we've been talking about. Okay. The other question that was sent was, I noticed that Q and Michael, and forgive me, I'm paraphrasing this because I don't remember exactly. I noticed that Q and Michael always talk about well, Michael, I think is what you're trying to reference, because I don't think Q really talks about current, but I could be wrong. But you and Benny always talk vaguely or in past. And I think we did cover this a few weeks back, but I know for me it's because I protect what is relevant right now, right? I protect my reality. And that's not to say that nobody can be trusted, but I just see it all the time where folks start sharing on social media, and that expectation builds. If you shared it today, you need to keep sharing, and pretty soon people think they have a right to your private life and your business. And I don't operate like that. I don't think I have a right to anybody else's, and I like mine. And so I protect it. I don't broadcast, my business like that. I don't. And it's not that I try to hide it. I just am protective over it. I don't want people feeling like they can give me their opinions. If I'm not asking for it, don't give it to me, because it's my shit. I'm gonna handle it the way I see fit. And if I'm mad at them today or love them today, I don't want to talk to you about it, because when I'm ready to forgive them, the people that love you, they gonna hold on to that shit, and they gonna be ready to kill and murder and beat because that person hurt you. So I've learned there are just a lot of things that you don't talk about. I've also never been the one that wanted to sit around with my friends and Kiki and Kaka over a man's penis size or show pictures and get explicit with detail, because I'm a firm believer anybody can do anything in the right situation. So there's only so much I'm going to share. You just don't give people temptation, right? You just don't give people fodder for rumors, and you don't let your good be spoken of as evil. That's me. And you're pretty much, I think, said the same thing last time, but if you want to chime in on that.
I mean, if somebody asks me a direct question, I may or may not answer, just depending on what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got no long speech behind it. But we do got one more question.
Okay.
One more question. Because I like to answer the question, because first of all, it's an honor for anybody who chooses to tune in and spend their time with us, and we do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Here it is, Miss Bridget Smith-Glass. So I'm assuming she's married. Okay. This question is for the poly couple. Michael, is he bisexual as well? I heard his partner say she's bisexual. Just curious. You want to answer that first? You want me to answer?
I don't think he is, but I don't know. What I will do is make sure that we save that question and circle it back. They had a family event tonight, but they should be back with us next week. So I'll circle it back. I don't know, but I'm gonna kick it to you and let you.
I don't know. I think that's a good question though, because if and it's just generalized, if somebody say, they're poly, and they were saying that, about the 3Somes, the 4Somes, the 7Somes, or whatever, I think that's an interesting question to ask. I don't know, but definitely next week, next Tuesday, when they come back on, we'll put this question to the side and we'll ask him and let him answer it directly. But hey, thanks for the question though.
Yes. So with that being said, we're going to close you out with a little housekeeping real quick. All right, guys, we're making a quick change. So we've been streaming this on the Healing One YouTube channel. We officially started the Sex Intimacy Power channel tonight, because this is kind of picking up momentum and we see the interest, and I really want this to be amazing for all of us. So moving forward, we'll be streaming on that channel. I'm going to pop the link to that channel on this video and past replays. We'll pop it on the Facebook replays as well, so that you guys can start connecting with us over there. And like we said at the beginning, if you're getting the link from Facebook and clicking through, in order to see the comments on YouTube, you have to click all the way through to YouTube. We can't see you if you don't do that, because you get trapped in that little black hole in between. One more question. Foster said, sadly, most don't know what they need, so they can't possibly explain to you. So you guessing, and now it's an issue. See, that's all I'm saying. I think you're referring back to when we were talking about people having the emotional intelligence and the vocabulary to just tell us what the fuck you want, man. Ain't nobody got time for 20 questions and 1,000 memes. Like, what you want, what you need. Let's go with that. Anything you want to close them out with? Any more announcements on shows?
Yep, I sure will. Casey said, my girl gonna always feel special. All right, and on that note, that's what's up, Casey.
Yes.
All right, but yes, Thursday, February the 22nd, live at the Start On. If you all haven't been to an independent show, I promise you, them hold the best in the city. I promise you. Matter of fact, the state, no, I'm lying, the country. So yeah, pull up on us. The tickets, they $20. You can go to stardome.com. You get in early, you get out early. The doors open at 6:15. Show starts promptly at 7:30. by 9:10, 9:15, we're up out of there. You've been had a great time. Whole nine. Also, too, I do have these shirts on sale right here that say, I gotta be resaved, because a lot of y'all was dipped in the 80s and that shit didn't go off. I do have these shirts in all sizes. These hats right here, Recovering Hope. There was a comedy tour that I did, so it's just the name of the tour. It ain't because you're a whole name. You want to be name, you can use however you want. I didn't say Recovering Horror. I said Recovering Hope. Got the hats. Also had a shirt say Recovering Hope. Also have some shirts say With Your Line Ass. So hey, you want to get one, hit me up. You can hit us up on the podcast. Shit, you can hit me up on the cell phone, 205-585-7273. Call or text, and I can meet you, mail it, or however, with all the shirts. I promise you, they're exclusive. You can only get them from me. So that's what it is. I bring you that funny for a little money. It's always something to laugh at. I am comedic narrator, Benny Mac. How?
And with that, we are also going to be opening the online shop for the Sex Intimacy Power podcast. And we're going to have some merch pretty soon, Benny. We're going to have some t-shirts and some cute little stuff for y'all to buy for your boo things, your boo cuddy buddies and fuck buddies and whatever else you got going on. All right. And for yourself. We can't top the Recovering Home, but we're going to get close. We're going to get close. We're going to get close. With that, we love y'all. We out. And we will see y'all next week. Pow, pow, pow.